I the asshole for acting unhappy at me and my wife's gender reveal? My wife is 7 months pregnant. It came as a complete surprise, as my wife had been taking birth control regularly. We had originally planned to not have any kids, but my wife changed her mind after her first ultrasound. I respected her decision, even if I wasn't the happiest about it. I told her that regardless, I was not going to force her to make a decision. We had a gender party late because of issues with the pandemic, but we finally got around to it. I already was not happy given the circumstances that I did not want to have any children. I still participated to show support to my wife though. Once the gender reveal happened, everyone, including my wife, was ecstatic. She went to go hug me and I hugged her back, just not with the same energy. She looked at me with a concerned face, but went off to hug some of her friends and family. Once it was over and we got everything all done, she blew up at me. She said that I embarrassed her in front of her family, and the least I could have done was pretended that I cared. I told her I didn't really see a point in throwing a party just because of the gender, but she wanted to do it, so I agreed. She said that she understood that I didn't really want to have a baby, but that since they were almost here, I should probably lose the attitude already. I responded saying that since she knew I didn't want the baby, she shouldn't be surprised I wasn't enjoying the baby shower. She supposedly thought that the baby shower would change my mind, but was upset that it didn't. I told her that I wasn't going to apologize for simply not showing any emotion, and that she needed to give me time to adjust, especially with a kid on the way. Also, side note, we did use protection and I was denied a vasectomy by my doctor. So, am I the asshole for telling my sister she's not my boss after she tried to plan 6 months worth of playdates for our daughters? My sister Jess is 18 months older than me. Growing up, she saw us as BFFs and suffocated me a lot. Not in the sweet way either. She would insist on being part of my friend group and judge some of my friends, even chasing some of them off over the years. The latest was 5 years ago. I was 21 and one of the friends I met in college was hanging out with us, and she told her she wasn't good enough to be, quote unquote, our friend. She said white trash had no place in our lives and basically pissed the girl off so much she wouldn't speak to me again either. I have set boundaries before and she has broken them. She keeps saying family sticks together and looks out for each other, which is what she's doing when she chases away friends she deems unworthy of us. I have told her I don't like it and we don't need to share the same friends. She disagrees strongly. Our parents shrug it off as though we both get veto power, so it's okay. I pulled way back after that incident. Then we both got pregnant at the same time. Her daughter just turned 2.5, while my daughter will be 2 soon. She has asked several times about playdates, and I always make up excuses about why they won't happen. Then, about 6 weeks ago, I told her I was not interested in playdates for our kids because of her behavior. I pointed out exactly what my issues were and that I am not willing to let her dictate my daughter's life and friends too. She came back to me with playdates mapped out for the next 6 months, down to the times and places and how much they'll cost. I told her no. I said she's not my boss and I'm not going to let her control more of my life. I told her I would rather our girls grow up distant than deal with her and let her do to my daughter what she has done to me since we were kids. She got so pissed. She told me she has only ever tried to be my friend and I'm being unreasonable. I responded with, if she stops trying to interfere, then maybe things can change, but I am not willing to back down from this otherwise. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to talk to my son and husband until they apologize to my mother-in-law? I'm going to use a throwaway account because my husband browses Reddit. My mother-in-law, Sandra, 69 female, is a weird woman. She refers to herself as that. She has random outbursts, hyperfixations, tics, and struggles immensely with social cues. She hasn't been diagnosed with anything, so I'm not going to speculate. When I first met my husband's family, I noticed that all of them, except my husband, made fun of Sandra and her quirks. For example, we were having dinner one night and my mother-in-law couldn't stop talking about flowers. She loves plants and nature and is super knowledgeable about it. My sister-in-law made a comment making fun of her and everybody at the table laughed about it. Sandra got extremely embarrassed and didn't talk for the rest of the night. This kind of behavior is normal in the family, and I despise it. I get so angry whenever someone makes fun of Sandra because she is just a kind, loving woman that I just can't fathom why they do that. I've had a lot of conversations about this with my husband and even fights when he laughs about the jokes. We have a son, 15 male, named Alex, and my biggest fear is becoming true. Alex has started to pick up the behavior around him and has been laughing of Sandra. I've talked to him about why laughing at her is bullying, how that behavior is inappropriate, etc., but Alex doesn't seem to care. 2 weeks ago, we went to see Sandra. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law were there along with their families. Sandra looked very happy. While catching up, she randomly started clapping, one of the tics that appear when she is excited. My brother-in-law made a comment poking fun of her, and the whole family laughed, including my husband and Alex. Sandra got teary-eyed and had to excuse herself to the bathroom. I have never been more furious. While on our way home, I chewed my husband and son out and told them not to speak to me until they apologized to Sandra. I told them that I don't want to hear a single word directed towards me until they apologized to Sandra. I told them that I don't want to hear a single word directed to me until they reflect on how their actions are hurtful and disgusting. 2 weeks have passed and I haven't spoken to them, not a single word, because they have made 0 attempts on apologizing to Sandra. My husband is telling me that I am being petty and hurting Alex. He is also mad at me for valuing my relationship with Sandra more than my relationship with them. But in my mind, I am not doing that. But my husband says that I am being an asshole. So, am I the asshole for refusing to talk to my son and husband until they apologize to my mother-in-law? Am I the asshole for refusing to eat, knowing my mother-in-law will not eat if I don't, and causing her to faint? We currently live with my husband's mom, and she does a lot for us. I truly appreciate that because we got ourselves into a financial rut. My mother-in-law is a hardcore perfectionist who always has to be the best at everything to the point it is completely toxic. She was taught growing up to never eat if someone else isn't. And as a teen, that spiraled into never being the only woman eating. It was ingrained in her by her very overweight mother to never let anyone think she was a pig. Not surprisingly, mother-in-law and her sister both have serious issues with food. This is insane, obviously, but she is also an ER doctor who doesn't work normal hours, so this makes it even worse. We are someplace that is probably in the third or fourth wave, so she has been working crazy hours. The other day, she took us out after work to do some errands. We don't have a car at the moment, but she said it was fine because she needed groceries. The grocery store sold food you could eat there, and she asked if we wanted any. I had just eaten, so I said no, but she should eat since she just got off work. She insisted she wasn't hungry and was just thinking about us. By the end of the shopping, she seemed to be shaking and asked again if we wanted anything. My husband said he would eat something just because he felt bad for her. I wasn't hungry and said no. She ended up leaving without eating. Then we went home and she fainted. I don't know if it was just not from eating. She had been working like 20-hour shifts routinely. Now her boyfriend is pissed at me and says I should have eaten something so she would. I said she is a grown woman and I don't feel responsible, but he said I know who she is, called me an ungrateful bee, and said it's my fault that she fainted. So, am I the asshole for refusing to eat, knowing my mother-in-law will not eat if I don't, and causing her to faint? Am I the asshole for applauding my neighbor's nighttime activities? A few nights ago, my wife and I were woken up by the neighbors in the apartment above ours, very explicitly and loudly trying to expand their family. They must have been going at it for an hour, and it was fairly frustrating as I had to work the next day. After they were done, I played an applause track through my Bluetooth speaker held up to the ceiling to try and make them aware of the relative thinness of the floor. I found out today that they have reported me to management for harassment. So, am I the asshole for applauding my neighbor's nighttime activities?